grade. Welcome to Wednesday's lesson for Wednesday, March 18th. Today we're going to be doing lesson 7-1, day 1. The lesson title is Zero and Negative Exponents, and it's on page 414 of your book. We'll be doing 2 gotta checks today, and we'll be focusing on problem 1. So we'll do 2 gotta checks on page 415, number 1A and 1B. So we will do both of those. Okay. Also, your homework for this evening is going to be page 417, numbers 9 through 20. And you're also going to do your bell ringer with that homework as well. So your bell ringer and 3 sentences will be number 15 on page 411. You can do this one of 2 ways. You can either do it written and then scan or take a photo of it and attach it to the Google Classroom assignment. Or way number 2, you can use Google Docs in order to type your answers. If you have to type your answers on Google Docs, you should use Equation Editor, which is in the Insert menu, so Insert Equation, and that way you'll be able to actually type fractions and exponents and all that good stuff. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to look at is what does it mean when you have a negative exponent? Having a negative exponent means that you're switching the position of the base from the numerator or to the denominator or vice versa. So, negative exponents mean that you switch the position of the base to the numerator or the denominator of a fraction. This is a lot easier to see in an example. So let's take a look at a couple of examples. First of all, let's try this one. If I had, for example, 2 to the negative 3 power, what that means is I would need to put this base of 2 into the denominator of fraction. So the definition is I move the base to the denominator of a fraction, and then my exponent becomes positive. Okay, so this is the definition. So if we have a negative exponent, that means we need to kick this base to the basement, and then once we kick it to the basement, the exponent becomes positive. So a lot of times I will call this kick it to the basement. Okay, negative exponent usually means that we're going to descend it downstairs. Okay, however, what happens if the negative exponent is in the denominator? And that happens sometimes. So for example, what if we had something like 1 over 5 to the negative 2 power? Well, if that was the case, then we'd have to take this and kick it upstairs. So our new fraction would be we'd kick the base upstairs and then our exponent becomes positive. Okay? And this is called kick it upstairs. So we're just switching the position of the base from the numerator to the denominator. Okay? Now, when you get these expressions, neither one of these are fully simplified, right? So when you get an expression, you always want to simplify it first. So simplifying it means that we're actually going to do the math. So what that means is 1 over 2 to the 3rd power, 2 raised to the 3rd power equals 8. So this would equal 1/8. When I was simplifying my 1 over 5 to the negative 2 power, we said, well, that means I have to kick it upstairs. And then now we can simplify. 5 squared is actually 25. And 25 divided by 1, of course, that would just be 25. Okay, so you want to make sure you simplify. So now we're going to try our gotta check. So we're going to start trying our gotta check, and we're going to start by trying 1A on page 415. Go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to erase the board, and then we're going to do the got it check. Okay, let's see if you got the got it check correct. So this was got it check 1A. And 1A asked us to take 4 to the negative 3 power and simplify it. So 4 to the negative 3, that means I would have to kick that 4 to the basement. So this would become 1 over 4 to the third power, and that would be positive. And then I actually have to simplify this. So 4 to the third power would be equal to 64 because that's 4 times 4 times 4. So my final answer would be 1/64. All right, you ready to try the next part? So the last part of our assignments is 0 exponents. And this is also a definition. So what a 0 exponent means is that as long as the base is not 0, so for any base that is not equal to 0, a base raised to a 0 exponent is 1. So that base raised to a 0 exponent equals 1. Let's try a quick example, and we'll see how that works. So, for example, if I used 4 to the 0 power, anything to the 0 power we said equals 1 as long as the base isn't 0. This is true for negative exponents as well. So let's try, excuse me. Let's try an example with a negative exponent. So for example, if I had negative 3 raised to the 0 power, that would also be 1. Okay, as long as this base is not 0, then anything raised to the 0 power is 1. Let's try our second got it check. So you're going to be trying the second got it check. So that's 1B on page 415. Pause the video if you need to, and then we'll try the example. Okay, let's try our got it check 1B. So our problem for got it check 1B was negative 5 raised to the 0 power. Good news, our base is not 0. So it means that anything raised to the 0 power is 1. So 1 should be our final answer. Okay, folks, I think you are ready for your homework. So remember, you can find your homework on Google Classroom, page 417, numbers 19 through 20, and also do your bell ringer in 3 sentences on that page as well. Your bell ringer is page 411, number 15. All right, goodbye everyone. See you tomorrow for our next lesson.